It's Tuesday evening here at the Utilita after a sort of a blustery evening. Training session just finished. We're here with Shannah's usual chat before Saturday's game. Obviously a big win away at Cinderford on Saturday. You must have been pleased with that. Any sort of thoughts on the club performance there and some of the previous games and what's coming up?
Yeah, no, I look really happy. Obviously a pretty disappointing January. Darlington were started badly in the game for long periods, but just kind of too many mistakes and errors kind of cost us in the end. So Cinderford not really happy that we controlled large parts of the game and had a pretty good lead at one point, and then had like about a 10-minute period, which has been our kind of Achilles heel lately, and they got within two and kind of thought, oh, here we go again. But we did some work last week just on refocusing and talking about winning small battles and having like 10-minute focus blocks, and then so we basically kind of focused on winning that last 10 minutes and you kind of win the game. So and the boys scored 10 points and that gave us a nice victory. But at one point I thought we were going to kind of kick on and maybe get a bonus point. Could have went to like 24-6 up at about 65 minutes and be going for a bonus point. But 4 points at Cinderford, really happy with that. Needed it. Gives a little bit of breathing space, but this league is so tight. Taunton was it go and put 40 points in Sedgley Park, which I don't think anyone saw. And obviously Sale beat Plymouth quite convincingly as well, and Leicester had a good run of games. So this league is, as always, is very competitive. It's set maybe for the top two teams that are kind of pushing away from it, but everyone else on their day could beat anyone. So I'm really happy to get 4 points, and like I said, we needed it, and it'd just be nice to get a home result, because obviously at the moment our away form is pretty good. We've won 5 out of 8, which would be one of the top in the league, but our home form is just not acceptable. I think it's unfortunately people like coming to Blackheath. It's a good pitch, good facilities.
Of course,
Obviously we play a brand of rugby that teams like to play against as well, and like to try and play a similar style. So I think it's not really a kind of place people dread going to. And I think some of the away games, I wouldn't say you dread, but like Cinderford's a tough place to go.
Forest of Dean's.
Cinderford's a tough place to go. Darlington's a tough place to go. It's a long trip. Sale, a long trip. Plymouth, long. So these places where they can have that kind of, it's a tough place to go to, and when you go there, teams are kind of potentially already beaten when they arrive. But we seem to thrive in the away games, and not at home, which is frustrating for obviously the players, coaches, but obviously the supporters as well, because most of them watch the home games, not the away games. So I'm hoping obviously for a performance, but obviously we have got the table toppers, Chinnor.
I was going to say, got one of those two teams you mentioned who are clear at the top. Any sort of special preparation, or is it just treating it as another game?
I mean, look, we spoke very briefly tonight about the mindset for this week. I don't want to use the words free hit, but it's kind of, we've got to go out and express ourselves. We've got to go out and be the best version of ourselves. And if we're the best version of ourselves, then we have an opportunity. Anything below that, and it's going to be a tough day at the office, because they're a very good side. I think they're miles better from when we played them last time, even though they beat us heavily. But they're very big, they're powerful, they've got great pace, they're obviously well organised by the coach. We're going to have to, like I say, be the best version of ourselves, and I know we can do that, but we have to believe it as a squad, and then really kind of go out there with like I said, not a free hit mentality, but just throw everything at them and see where we're at the end of the game.
So if you're taking games one at a time, obviously Chinnor's your main focus. Any sort of thoughts about the games coming up after that? Because we've got quite a tough run of games with teams above us in the table.
I spoke about it last week. Kind of, we've had themes which were like block chunks of games together and a theme. But last week, I to put it bluntly said forget the themes. And last week was a must-win game. It was a cup final, and it was about focusing on that game. And I just said, look, we're going to forget about that theme. We're going to focus on every game at a time. So I haven't worried or not looking ahead at those other fixtures. I know if we're the best version of ourselves in those fixtures, we have an opportunity to win.
Yeah.
And that's all we can control. So we're going to focus everything on Chinnor. Once that's done, I'll probably on Friday we'll start to look at Plymouth.
Yeah.
Just to prep for next week. But all our focus is on Chinnor. But we've got back-to-back home games. Look, we'd love back-to-back wins, but what I'd love to do is put a real big performance in this week that maybe builds onto the following week.
Yeah.
And for me, again, that's a must-win game. I think we, 2 or 3 more wins, and we should push us up the table. And what I'd like to do is, we might not be able to catch Darlington or Richmond, who are above us. Probably got a good opportunity to catch Richmond potentially, but if not, I want to at least finish on the top of that pile that we're currently ahead of everyone.
Yeah, so obviously Richmond means big game on 8th of, potentially a big game on the 8th of March.
Yeah.
Friday down at Richmond.
And we've done all the long away trips, so it's kind of all the London area games, local derbies, which always gives a bit of a buzz. I think our longest trip will be Rams, which is not a long trip, and we always do pretty well at their place. I know what games are coming, but I'm not putting massive focus on them.
Sure.
Like I said, focus on Chinnor this week, and then we can, like I said, on Friday I'll start looking at Plymouth for next week.
That's fine. Okay. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Okay, and good luck on Saturday.
Yeah. Cool.